ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help.
Tall ships take over the Boston Harbor, Arlingtonians dance for a charitable cause, and the CEO of Aya's Culture Kitchen teaches us about natto. From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count, from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the nationwide award-winning ACMi News. If you were in Boston this past week, you most definitely saw the massive sailboats and vessels docked along the waterfront. Hello everyone, I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm Francisca Beduya. The tall ships paraded through Boston's harbor from July 11th to the 16th. Our ACMi correspondent, Daniel Lipoff, has an inside look for us.
Ships, and even more ships sailed into Boston this week as part of Sail 250, a celebration of America's 250th birthday. Nearly 60 tall ships representing more than 20 countries docked in Boston and were open to the public to get on board, learn about the history of the ships, and even sail on them. The week's festivities kicked off on Saturday as the USS Constitution led the Parade of Sail, an event not seen in Boston since 2017. I went back the next day and was lucky enough to speak with the crew members of a very special ship. Now, I'm on board the Bluenose 2, which is the only ship from Canada here in Boston, and you can feel the rich history the second you walk on.
So it was a racing and fishing vessel. It was built to race the International Fisherman's Cup. The Bluenose, original Bluenose, was built as Nova Scotians' participation in that. She was built in Lunenburg. This ship was built by some of the same people. So the second one was built in the same place by the same people. She never was defeated in the International Fisherman's Cup, so she's like an undefeated champion. Nova Scotians are so proud of her. Canada's proud of her. She's on the dime.
For a ship as large as the Bluenose 2, it's not as easy as hoisting the sails and leaving the port. The 19-member crew has a few things they need to do before they can set sail.
We do 2 months of maintenance at the beginning of every season. So when we come, the ship's pretty bare bones. We'll do all the bright work, all the painting, and then we have to rig the ship completely. And a lot of the crew that come to us are brand new, have never sailed before. So by this point in the season, they're generally all very competent at what they're doing, and they've gone through the routine enough times where it's drilled in their brains, and they know the ship very well.
And once all of that was said and done, coming into port during the Parade of Sail was indescribable for the crew.
I was focused on sailing. I was focused on what I needed to do, but like when I stepped back, I was like, "Whoa, this is like crazy experience." Like, I have no words. No words is my answer for that.
As Sail Boston wraps up, the Bluenose 2 is headed back to its home port in Nova Scotia.
Come visit Nova Scotia, come see where Bluenose is from, Lunenburg, see the sailing history, see the shipbuilding history, and eat some good food.
For ACMi News, I'm Daniel Lipoff.
Boston was the last stop on Sail 250's schedule, and most of the ships are now headed back to their home ports.
Here's a story that deserves more attention than it got at the time. Back in the last week of June, the town of Arlington held a gas leak safari, a tour of town led by the Gas Leaks Task Force to show just how much the town's gas leaks are affecting our carbon emissions and how much action is needed to properly address this issue. The event culminated with a discussion about converting Arlington from fossil fuels to renewable electricity in order to make the town a safer, healthier place to live.
On July 8th, more than 4,000 nurses at Brigham and Women's Hospital went on strike. The stoppage is a response to the hospital's refusal to accommodate nurses' increasing cost of living, even as they give executives millions of dollars per year. The strike was only intended for 1 day, when the hospital hired traveling nurses who require a 5-day minimum contract. As replacements, those on the picket line were locked out until 7 a.m. on Monday, the 13th. As of now, the nurses are back at work, but it remains vital that our healthcare workers are paid and respected as they deserve.
Self-described as the original Asian makers market, the MAUM Market is a curated premium pop-up market celebrating Asian-owned small businesses. Their latest installation took place on the Seaport Common.
On Sunday, hundreds gathered in Seaport for the MAUM Market, a pop-up market featuring Asian-owned small businesses. MAUM is a national organization with similar events in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and Chicago. Vendors sold jewelry, accessories, and some even drew mini portraits. The MAUM Market is now off to Los Angeles and will be back in Boston on October 3rd.
The market often partners with historical landmarks and like-minded institutions to recreate a welcoming atmosphere for all. And if you missed it this month, the MAUM Market is scheduled to return to the Seaport on October 3rd.
Move aside, Spain, and come here, Spaniel. With all eyes on the World Cup, the Liberty Hotel hosted a soccer-themed Pup Cup, with a portion of proceeds going to the Animal Rescue League of Boston. ACMi News' Josh Geishery drew the lucky straw and got to play with the pups.
Here at the Liberty Hotel, it's Yappier Hour's Pup Cup. Step aside, World Cup, and say hello to our furry friends.
The yard filled with some of the happiest soccer fans on Wednesday, July 15th for the eagerly awaited World Cup match between England and Argentina. While the guests greeted each other and congregated for treats courtesy of Dash Dog Food, I had the opportunity to speak to a representative from the Animal Rescue League of Boston.
Animal Rescue League of Boston is an animal welfare organization with locations in Boston, the Cape, and Dedham. So we're at a kind of windy Yappier Hour, but it's a really fun event. We've seen a lot of great dogs. We're here to just kind of meet dogs and people and spread awareness about what it is that we do. We actually have our adoptables board here today with our adoptable animals. So in addition to dogs, you will see some cats. We actually have a chinchilla right now and a pig that's been with us for 2 years.
Between the DJ set and cocktails in the patio, owners and their dogs seem to be enjoying themselves. But being the dedicated journalist that I am, I did my due diligence and spoke with some of the esteemed guests.
I'm here with Muffalina. Muffalina, you just arrived. There's so many wonderful dogs around. How are you liking things? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? Oh yeah. I couldn't agree anymore, Muffalina. You're so, how old is Muffalina?
Muffalina's 4.
4? Oh, you're just a baby.
She's such a baby, huh?
You're just a baby.
So we're represented today in our hair, Scotland.
Hey, Scotland.
We get the Scotland, little
Yes,
bow tie,
yes.
representing.
That's good. You're out here representing. You're doing it. You're family proud, Muffalina. All right, I'll let you go and hang out with the other dogs. Thank you for your time.
Kisses.
Thank you for your time, Muffalina. Hey, my question is, how are you liking this so far? Yeah, you like it? You like it a lot? Okay, good job, Luke.
My dopamine levels reaching an all-time high, I couldn't think of a better way to spend my afternoon.
For ACMi News, at one of potentially my favorite events that I've covered so far, I'm Josh Geishery. Back to you in the studio.
Josh always gets to go on the coolest shoots. He better bring me next time.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. I wish I could have been there too. The town of Arlington, like every town, faces challenges as a melting pot of identities and cultures, with sweeping changes across the nation revolving around the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Leaders who advocate for equality are needed now more than ever.
Our cultural correspondent Swaga Jha sat down with Dr. Margaret Credle Thomas, the Director of Engagement and Access for Arlington Public Schools, to talk more about work in town and how she's been tackling issues of discrimination.
Through the grant that we had gotten last year, we were able to get some consultation from the Equity Imperative. And so myself and our specialist, Katie Hodgkins, our Director of Counseling and SEL, which is Magali Orlando, and our district social workers, we all kind of came together and we were kind of doing an assessment of like what are the affinity groups that we have in the district from the elementary to the high school. Right. So the high school has a merit of clubs and affinity groups that people feel like they're a part of. I think at the middle school they're slowly starting to expand that we have our GSAs, we have our BIPOC affinity groups there. At the elementary school we see that we have GSA's there. We have Girls on the Run.
Yes.
There's affinity groups for students that come from divorced households, things like that. And so we want to ensure that we can continue to cultivate some belonging circles, and that whoever is going to facilitate that, any educators that are going to facilitate that, that we're also supporting them and giving them what they need to continue to build capacity for these circles.
Yeah. What do you think could be added on or kind of like worked on in this role to make it more sustainable for the future leaders?
I mean, what makes it sustainable is having people in the department. I think it's hard when you have just one DEI director and that you're looking for that DEI director to do all the work. I think what makes it sustainable is having a department and having different people having different of the pie responsibilities of what needs to happen in that department. I think that is the most important thing.
Yeah, because you talked about, I was like, oh, you have so many different things to do, and you highlighted your team. So I'm glad that you have some support.
Thank you.
Lace up your dancing shoes because Arlington's monthly Contra dance is back. Social dancing is alive and well for the Arlington Knights of Columbus 109, who hosted their monthly Contra dance for a cause this past Sunday. The event doubled as a Christmas in July food drive for Matthew's Food Pantry in Dorchester. Also known as New England folk dancing, Contra dancing often features live fiddle-based folk music and splits the dancers into two parallel lines, with each participant opposite their partner. Led by a caller, the pairs make their way down the two lines. Contra dance is known for being inclusive of all community members, spanning every level of skill and experience. Come with a partner or get paired up when you arrive and celebrate live music, dance, community, and tradition in this classic New England pastime. It's so cool to see aspects of old New England culture like Contra dancing still being practiced today. Plus, it looks like a lot of fun. Coming up after the break, Island vibes bring the party to Harvard's athletic complex, and we discuss the fate of the Capitol Theater.
All that and more right after this.
So, as you guys come out and around the corner, you see a haggard zombie with dark gray skin, green ooze coming out of its face, and you see this gnarly smoke cloud of just noxious fumes come out of its mouth as it just...
Are you a D&D player? Do you DM or GM? Would you be interested in playing in Arlington? Well, join Tell Me a Story.
Welcome back to ACMi News. The 13th annual Boston JerkFest was held from July 10th to the 12th at the Harvard Athletic Complex. This year's theme, Femme Tropicale, to recognize women in culture, food, and soccer.
Welcome to JerkFest, a 3-day celebration filled with vibrant music, tropical treats, and Caribbean culture.
First and foremost, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, so this whole vibe is every day in Trinidad. Like, we're all about culture, we're all about people, community, so this just feels like home, honestly.
Among the vendors is Kamal Jarrett, who founded Hillside Harvest in 2019 to bring more Caribbean flavors to local grocery stores and restaurants.
We wanted to see more representation of island-focused foods, and so we figured that we'd create a brand that did that ourselves.
Jarrett says events like JerkFest highlight the growing Caribbean community across New England, while helping people stay connected to their roots.
There's such a strong representation of the diaspora here in Boston, here in New England, and so it's just only right that when they go to stores, when they go to restaurants, where they pick up ingredients, that they have some semblance of what they came from, some reminder of home.
That sense of community is what keeps both vendors and festival goers returning year after year.
We love the atmosphere, even if we don't sell a dime. It's fun talking to everybody here, just to see everybody come out looking all beautiful and supporting the local JerkFest every year.
Whether they come for the food, the music, or the culture, many say JerkFest offers something even more important, a place to feel at home.
Look at this. Look at this. You know what I mean? We bring people together. It is important. Food, music, drinks, like dancing. This is what it does. You know what I mean? And it's fun, it's safe, and people, it brings so much joy that we need, you know? So I'm like, life is already hard enough. When we have events like this, it makes a difference. So really happy to be here to support.
You ready? Running. You can tell that from deep behind. Caribbean, there's us roll it, roll it, roll it. You must roll it, roll it, roll it. Watch it, roll it, roll it, roll it. But don't take a six for a. You better watch yourself on this. Oh, run, oh, run, oh, run. Watch yourself on this.
The event perfectly captured the Caribbean style of eating, drinking, dancing, and overall good vibes.
The weather looked really nice at JerkFest, definitely unlike the past few days.
Yeah, the sky has been looking really yellow. I was starting to get worried.
Well, don't fret because our weather correspondent Josh Guichery is here to tell us what's been going on and what to expect next week.
Your eyes don't deceive you. That yellow glow in the sky is from our friends in Canada. More than 100 wildfires across Canada have produced an orange smog tinting skies as far south as North Carolina. Luckily, as a new weather system moves in this weekend, meteorologists expect the smog will be mostly pushed out of the Arlington area. While air quality is no longer at harmful levels for the general population, continue to monitor the air quality index throughout the week, especially if you spend a lot of time outdoors or are a member of a sensitive group. This new weather system will bring in partly cloudy skies and heavy winds Friday with wind speeds up to 20 miles an hour. The night will cool down a bit with temperatures in the lower 60s. Gusts will pick up even more on Saturday with those southwest winds reaching up to 30 miles an hour and temps reaching into the 80s. Arlington's critical drought status, but luckily lawns will get some reprieve with a 90% chance of rain Saturday evening. Sunday, the rain will hopefully continue through with temps around 81 degrees and a 40% chance of showers. The skies will then clear up again starting Sunday night, leading into Monday with nearly 90-degree temperatures midday. Tuesday will bring back the showers with a chance of thunderstorms through the evening, and those showers will linger until Thursday with temps dipping into the mid-70s by the end of the week. And that's all for this week's weather, but before we go back to the desk, let's check in on Beyond the Score. I simply have to talk about the World Cup. Argentina will face Spain Sunday at 3 p.m. after making a massive comeback against England. They won the match 2-1 with clutch goals from Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez. Both goals scored in less than 6 minutes. So it'll be the older legend in Lionel Messi and the young star in Lamine Yamal taking the pitch for the final. Fans online are pointing to the irony of a photo shoot Messi did with Yamal when he was just a baby almost 20 years ago. In the photo, the then 20-year-old Messi had just signed to FC Barcelona. Messi is seen giving the 5-month-old Yamal a bath. The photos resurfaced in 2024 and immediately went viral, so the World Cup will all come down to this. Speaking of the World Cup, the third-place match between England and France kicks off Saturday in Miami at 5 p.m. France is hoping to at least take third place after their 2-0 loss against Spain. This game is one of the most highly anticipated matches of the World Cup. Fans favor France. That's all I have for Beyond the Score this week. Back to you, Francisca.
Thank you, Josh. Unified Hoops is hosting a 3-week adaptive basketball clinic at the Fidelity House in Arlington. Working in partnership with All Stars Learning, Inc., a Lexington-based nonprofit focused on neurodiverse inclusivity, the program provides skill development for children and young adults with special needs. The first session of the clinic ran on Monday, July 13th, with 16 participants and 6 dedicated student volunteers. All proceeds from the basketball clinic will be donated to All Stars Learning.
The Capitol Theater building in East Arlington is for sale. It's part of a real estate portfolio which also includes the Somerville Theater and an apartment building in Davis Square. The Capitol Theater building is valued at $6.3 million. according to the Arlington Assessor's online database. The property was owned by the family who managed it in partnership with the Somerville Theater for decades until it switched to a new Arlington-based ownership in early 2025. The Capitol Theater will continue to host the Arlington International Film Festival and holds monthly Disaster Piece Theater, as we await what comes next.
If you're looking for a new place for after-work drinks, a night out, or somewhere to watch the big game, the answer might lie in Boston's Seaport. It's not a summer in Boston without Cisco Brewers' annual Seaport Pop-Up, and this year marks the brewery's 9th time opening this seasonal location. Cisco Brewers has 3 permanent locations across the state in addition to their flagship brew pub on Nantucket. The brewery aims to bottle up good vibes and make their locations, quote, the happiest places on earth, end quote. This seasonal Seaport location is just another step in spreading that Nantucket energy. This year, the brewery's limited time location features a refurbished food selection and, of course, the return of classic Cisco Brewers drinks, like the Shark Tracker Light Lager, the Cisco Disco, and more. The outdoor beer garden also features an expanded covered tent area, a stage for daily music from local bands and performers, reservable Cisco beach shacks, and a plethora of TVs for game days. Cisco Seaport is open 7 days a week until October.
The town of Arlington is asking its residents to complete an 11-question online survey detailing their satisfaction with the 3 local cable providers, Comcast, Astound, and Verizon. Town Manager Jim Feeney explained the survey to James Milan in our most recent Town Hall update.
The town periodically goes through a process of renewing cable franchise licenses, and that is underway. So there is a public survey from which that feedback will help guide the process. So we are asking you to take an online survey about your satisfaction with the 3 local cable television service providers in Arlington. They are Comcast, Verizon, and Astound, or RCN. The Select Board will also be holding a public hearing at their August 10th meeting to hear additional public comments about the 3 cable service providers. But there are also questions in the public survey about ACMi programming as our local media partner. So please, if you could, take the Arlington Cable Provider Service Survey by July 31st.
The survey includes questions about the quality of your cable services, suggestions for improvement, and even questions about your very own Arlington Community Media Incorporated. We ask you, our viewers and supporters, to take the survey by July 31st.
Fermented foods such as natto have long been part of everyday life in Japan. Aya's Culture Kitchen, an Arlington-based business founded by Aya Rowe, is introducing these traditional foods to communities across the United States through locally made products, workshops, and other experiences. ACMi news correspondent Lydia Chen spoke with Aya about her company.
Hi, this is Lydia Chen. Today I'm here at Aya's Culture Kitchen, where I will be speaking with Aya Rowe. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for coming today.
And would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about your role at Aya's Culture Kitchen?
My name is Aya Rowe, and I'm the founder of Aya's Culture Kitchen. So at Aya's Culture Kitchen, we make a lot of Japanese fermented food with natto in its heart of the production.
For people who may not familiar with Aya's Culture Kitchen, would you like to introduce more about this company and what mission it serves?
Yes, so Aya's Culture Kitchen is a Japanese fermented food manufacturer company in Arlington, Massachusetts. And we create a small batch Japanese fermented foods that bring tradition, wellness, and nourishment to everyday modern table. And it's open 24 hours. People can just come in and grab a few things from the fridge, pay us via Venmo or cash, and they can enjoy fermented food. And the door needs a code in order to get in, but the code is written on the door because we trust people. So anyone is welcome to stop by anytime.
What first made you want to start this business?
I think I want people to try new food because I think for most people, natto is something very unfamiliar. And the texture is very sticky and the smell is very unusual. So I just want them to get surprised, try new food, and see whether they like it or not.
Aya's Culture Kitchen is known for natto. Why did you choose natto as your primary product?
Yes. So I came to the United States when I was 10, and before that, I grew up in Japan. In Japan, like natto is like a very ordinary breakfast item, so you can just eat it every day. Very fresh natto. It's very easy to get them from supermarket, super cheap. But after I came to the United States, I couldn't find fresh natto anywhere. Most natto you can get from the store are frozen, and they're imported from Japan, and the texture was very different from what I knew. And there was like not so many companies that were making natto. There's one company in Western Massachusetts that's making natto for past 50 years, but in Massachusetts, I don't know any other companies that's doing it. So I just decided to create it.
I learned that your company work also include other products. Would you like to give us an introduction of each of them as well?
We make a lot of things. We make amazake, which is sweet rice fermented drink. We also make miso, which is used for making miso soup. And we also make a Korean spicy sauce called gochujang, and it's really yummy. We also make a freeze-dried natto. It's just a freeze-dried version of our natto, and people eat it as a snack or like sprinkle it over salad. And freeze-dried natto powder, because some people want to eat natto for its nutritional content, but many people are reluctant of eating natto because of its texture and smell. And we removed those two difficult elements.
I learned that your product were also featured on Japan's national television. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes. So it was featured last year in Japan's national television, and this year as well. There was one TV production company from Japan came to the United States, came to Boston, and followed me with camera for like 4 days, which was a very new experience for me.
Do you feel food can be a bridge between cultures in some ways that conversation alone cannot?
I think so. When I sell natto at farmers markets, a lot of people say, I've heard of this, but I've never tried it before. So that sort of like sparks up the conversation, and I start talking about the nutritional benefits and stuff as well. So yeah, definitely.
So I learned that you also host experience like supper club gathering, miso making, fermentation workshops. So what made you want to develop those experiences as part of Aya's Culture Kitchen?
So I want people to think that fermentation is not a scary thing, but it's something you can do at home.
Is there any upcoming events that you would like the viewers to know about?
So we don't have workshops, but we will be at Fermentation Festival in Somerville, this event. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And my name is Lydia Chen, and thank you so much for watching.
You can find Aya's Culture Kitchen at the upcoming Somerville Fermentation Festival on Sunday, August 16th, or visit its shop at 75 Dudley Street in Arlington. For more information about its products, retail locations, and upcoming events, visit the Aya's Culture Kitchen website, ayasculture.com. And that'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. Have a story you want us to cover? Know about an upcoming community event? Share your ideas by writing us at the address on the upcoming screen.
For ACMi News, I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm Francisca Beduya. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.
ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help.